Jake Morrison was drinking his morning coffee when the alarm started screaming. The sound cut through the quiet morning air of New Haven Colony like a knife. He dropped his cup and ran to the communications center. Coffee splashed across the metal floor. What's happening? Jake asked Ben Cooper, the young man working at the radio equipment. Ben's face was white with fear. His hands shook as he pointed at the screen. 3 ships, sir. Big ones. They just came out of nowhere. Jake looked at the radar display. 3 massive objects hung in space above their small mining colony. The ships were 10 times bigger than anything humans had ever built. They looked like silver daggers pointed at the planet. Are they talking to us? Jake asked. Nothing yet, sir, but they're scanning us. My equipment is going crazy. Jake grabbed the emergency phone. Amy, get to the command center now. We have visitors. Amy Carter was already running before Jake finished talking. She had been the colony's security chief for 3 years. Before that, she had been a soldier on Earth. She knew trouble when she saw it. The colony had 500 people. Most of them were miners and their families. They had come to New Haven to dig rare metals from the ground. The work was hard, but the pay was good. None of them had signed up to meet aliens. Amy burst into the command center. She wore her security uniform and carried her rifle. The weapon looked simple next to all the electronic equipment in the room. How many ships? She asked. 3, Jake said. They're huge. Amy studied the radar screen. The alien ships were moving closer to the planet. Have they said anything? Not yet, Ben answered. But wait, something's coming through now. The speakers crackled to life. A strange voice filled the room. It sounded like music mixed with broken glass. The words were not in any human language. I can't understand it, Ben said. The voice stopped. Then it started again. This time, the words were in English, but they sounded wrong. Like someone was reading from a book they had never seen before. Small beings of the 3rd planet, we are the Zephyrian Empire. You will prepare for our arrival. Resistance is not permitted. Jake and Amy looked at each other. Neither of them spoke for a moment. That doesn't sound friendly, Amy said. Small beings? Jake was angry now. Who are they calling small? The voice continued. We will land in one of your time units. Prepare your leaders for discussion. Any hostile action will result in immediate termination. The transmission ended. The command center was quiet, except for the humming of machines. Jake picked up the colony-wide communication system. His voice echoed through every building in New Haven. All colonists report to the main hall immediately. This is not a drill. All colonists to the main hall now. Amy checked her rifle. The weapon used simple bullets, not fancy energy beams like in the movies. It was reliable and easy to fix. On New Haven, simple and reliable was important. How many security people do we have? Jake asked. 12, counting me, Amy replied. Plus about 30 miners who know how to use guns. Against 3 alien spaceships. Yeah, people started filling the main hall. Families with children sat close together. The miners stood in groups, talking in low voices. Everyone looked scared. Carl Jenkins, the maintenance chief, walked up to Amy. He was a big man with oil-stained hands. What do you need us to do? Right now, just stay calm, Amy said. We don't know what they want yet. Dr. Lisa Wade pushed through the crowd. She was the colony's doctor and one of the smartest people on New Haven. Jake, what's the situation? 3 alien ships. They want to talk to our leaders. They didn't sound like they were asking nicely. Lisa nodded. Do we have any weapons that might work against advanced technology? Amy laughed, but there was no humor in it. We have mining explosives and hunting rifles. If they have shields and energy weapons, we're in trouble. Outside, the sky began to change color. 3 bright lights appeared and grew larger. The alien ships were coming down. "Here they come," Ben said from his radio station. The ships landed in the open area outside the colony. They made no sound as they touched the ground. Up close, they were even more frightening. Each ship was smooth and silver, like a giant bullet. No windows or doors were visible. Then parts of the ships began to change. Sections slid away to reveal openings. Light poured out, brighter than the colony's electric lamps. Figures began to emerge from the ships. They were tall and thin, much taller than humans. Their skin looked like it was made of crystal. They wore no clothes, but their bodies were covered in some kind of armor that seemed to grow from their skin. Each alien carried a weapon. The weapons glowed with blue light and hummed with energy. "Energy weapons," Amy said. "Just like I thought." The aliens walked toward the main hall. Their leader was taller than the others. Patterns of light moved under his crystal skin. Jake straightened his shirt and walked to the door. "I guess it's time to meet the neighbors." Amy followed him, her rifle ready but pointed at the ground. Behind them, 500 colonists waited to see what would happen next. The alien leader stopped 10 feet from the door. When he spoke, his voice was like breaking glass. "I am Commander Vex Thalen of the Zephyrian Empire. Which of you small beings leads this settlement?" Jake stepped forward. "I'm Jake Morrison, Colony Administrator. Welcome to New Haven." The alien made a sound that might have been laughter. "Welcome? You misunderstand your situation, small being. We do not come as guests. We come as conquerors." The words hit Jake like a punch to the stomach. Around him, he could hear the colonists gasp. "Can whisper? Conquerors?" Jake tried to keep his voice steady. "We're just miners. We have nothing you could want. You have this world. You have your labor. You have your lives for now." Commander Vex Thalen raised his weapon. "The Zephyrian Empire has claimed this system. You will surrender immediately, or we will demonstrate why resistance is futile." Amy took a step forward. Her rifle was still pointed down, but her finger was near the trigger. "And if we don't surrender?" Jake asked. The commander's crystal face somehow managed to show contempt. "Then you will join the hundreds of species we have eliminated. Your primitive weapons cannot harm us. Your simple minds cannot comprehend our power." Behind Jake, a child started crying. The sound seemed to make the alien angry. "Silence the young one, or we will do it permanently," Vex Thalen said. That was too much for Amy Carter. She raised her rifle and pointed it at the alien. Commander's chest. "Nobody threatens our children," she said. Commander Vex Thalen looked at Amy's rifle and laughed. The sound was like glass breaking in a music box. His soldiers moved forward, their energy weapons glowing brighter. "Primitive projectile weapon," the commander said. "How amusing. Do you think your simple bullets can penetrate our battle armor?" Amy didn't answer. She kept her rifle aimed at his chest. "Our shields can stop any energy weapon," Vex Thalen continued. "Our armor can deflect plasma bolts and laser beams. What can your crude metal projectiles do against such technology?" The other Zephyrian soldiers spread out around the main hall. Their weapons hummed with deadly energy. The colonists pressed back against the walls, trying to stay away from the aliens. "Last chance, small being," the commander said to Jake. "Order your warrior to lower her weapon, or we will demonstrate our power." Jake looked at Amy. She gave him a small nod. "Do what you have to do," Jake said quietly. Vex Thalen raised his energy weapon and fired at the wall of the main hall. The blue beam cut through the metal like it was paper. A section of the wall simply disappeared, leaving a smoking hole. "Impressive, isn't it?" the commander said. "Now imagine what it would do to your soft bodies." Some of the colonists screamed. Children began crying, but Amy Carter didn't move. Her rifle stayed pointed at the alien's chest. "Your turn, Primitive," Vex Thalen said. "Show us what your simple weapon can do." Amy pulled the trigger. The gunshot was loud in the enclosed space, much louder than the quiet hum of energy weapons. The bullet flew across the room in a fraction of a second dot. It hit Commander Vex Thalen square in the chest. The alien staggered backward. His crystal face showed complete shock. Blue liquid began leaking from a hole in his armor. "Impossible," he whispered. Amy fired again. This time she aimed for the weapon in the commander's hand. The bullet shattered the energy gun into pieces. Sparks flew everywhere. The other Zephyrian soldiers tried to shoot at Amy, but she was already moving. She rolled behind a metal table and came up firing. Her first shot hit a soldier in the shoulder. Her second shot hit another in the leg. The alien's energy beams cut through the air where Amy had been standing, but she wasn't there anymore. She moved like water, always one step ahead of their weapons. More gunshots echoed through the hall. Carl Jenkins had found a hunting rifle. He shot at the nearest alien soldier. The bullet punched through the alien's armor like it was made of thin plastic. "How is this possible?" One of the Zephyrian soldiers shouted. "Our shields should stop all projectiles." Dr. Lisa Wade grabbed a pistol from a fallen security guard. She had never been a soldier, but she knew how to shoot. Her bullet hit an alien in the arm, spinning him around. The Zephyrians tried to retreat toward their ships, but more colonists had found weapons. Miners came running with rifles and shotguns. Every shot that hit an alien caused damage. There. Advanced armor was useless against simple bullets. Commander Vex Thalen stumbled toward the door, blue blood streaming from his wounds. "Retreat," he shouted to his soldiers. "Back to the ships." Amy stepped into his path. Her rifle was pointed at his head. "Going somewhere?" she asked. The commander looked at her with fear in his crystal eyes. "What are you?" he whispered. "I'm human," Amy said. "And this is our world." She pulled the trigger. Commander Vex Thalen collapsed to the floor. The other Zephyrian soldiers ran for their ships, leaving their dead behind. Amy turned to the colonists. "Is everyone okay?" Jake was staring at the dead aliens in shock. "Amy, what just happened? How did our bullets go through their armor?" "I don't know," Amy admitted. "But it worked." Ben Cooper was back at his radio equipment. "Amy, more ships are coming." "The radar shows at least 10 more vessels approaching." Amy looked out at the 3 alien ships on the ground. "Can we capture one of those ships?" Carl Jenkins was all ready, thinking the same thing. "I can try to figure out how they work, but we don't have much time." Dr. Lisa Wade was examining one of the dead aliens. Their armor is designed to deflect energy weapons, but bullets are different. They're solid matter moving at high speed. The shields don't know how to stop them. Amy nodded. "Ben, send out a message to every human colony you can reach. Tell them about the bullets. Tell them the aliens' shields don't work against projectile weapons." "What about the ships coming toward us?" Jake asked. Amy checked her rifle. She had 5 bullets left. "In the magazine. We fight." On the alien flagship high above New Haven, Science Officer Keth Moran was analyzing the battle data. His readings made no sense. "Commander Zex Vinyl," he called to his superior officer. "The surface team has been eliminated." "Eliminated? By those primitive beings? How?" "The readings are confusing, sir. It appears they were killed by some kind of advanced combat androids." Commander Zex Vinyl studied the data on his screen. "Androids? I saw no evidence of advanced technology on that world." "The combat units moved with perfect precision, sir. They showed no fear, no hesitation. They adapted to our tactics instantly. Only artificial intelligence could react so quickly and efficiently." Are you certain they were mechanical? Sir, no organic being could survive in combat against our forces. The female unit that eliminated Commander Vexthalen moved like a machine. Her accuracy was perfect. Her tactical decisions were flawless. Commander Zex Vinyl considered this information. The Zephyrian Empire had fought android armies before. Some species built mechanical soldiers to defend their worlds. These machines were dangerous, but they had weaknesses. Prepare the electromagnetic pulse weapons, he ordered. If they are using androids, we can shut them down. Yes, sir? And the neural disruptors? Deploy those as well. Artificial intelligence cannot function when its processing centers are scrambled. Back on the surface, Amy was organizing the colony's defenses. She had 12 security officers, 30 armed miners, and whatever weapons they could find. We need to spread out, she told Carl. They'll probably try bombing us from orbit. The mine shafts, Carl said. We can hide in the tunnels underground. Dr. Lisa Wade was still studying the alien equipment. Amy, look at this. Their weapons are incredibly advanced, but they're designed to fight a specific type of enemy. What do you mean? Energy weapons, plasma shields, force fields. Everything they have is meant to fight other high-tech armies. They're not prepared for bullets and explosives. Amy smiled grimly. Then we give them bullets and explosives. The first alien ships began landing outside the colony. These were different from the diplomatic vessels. They were black and angular, built for war. Soldiers poured out of the ships. They carried different weapons this time. Some of the devices looked like they were designed to create electrical storms. Others seemed to project waves of energy. What are those? Ben asked. Dr. Lisa Wade studied the alien soldiers through binoculars. Anti-android weapons, I think. They're treating us like machines. Amy laughed. Let them think that. It might give us an advantage. The alien soldiers advanced on the colony in perfect formation. Their new weapons charged up with crackling energy. Then they fired. Electromagnetic pulses swept over the colony. Electronic equipment sparked and died. The power grid went down. But the humans kept fighting. Neural disruptors sent waves of scrambling energy through the air. The aliens expected their enemies to collapse. Their artificial brains fried. Instead, Amy Carter popped up from behind a concrete barrier and shot 3 aliens with her rifle. Sir, one of the Zephyrian soldiers shouted into his communicator. The androids are still functioning. Our anti-machine weapons have no effect. Commander Zex Vinyl, listening from his ship, felt the first touch of real fear he had experienced in centuries of conquest. Impossible, he whispered. What kind of androids are these? The electromagnetic pulse had killed most of the colony's electronic equipment, but the humans kept fighting. Amy led a group of colonists through the mining tunnels under New Haven. The aliens were looking for them above ground, but the tunnels were dark and full of hiding places. How many mining explosives do we have? Amy asked Carl Jenkins. Carl counted the boxes they had carried into the tunnel. About 50 charges. Enough to bring down half the mountain if we need to. Good. We're going to need every advantage we can get. Dr. Lisa Wade was examining a captured alien weapon by flashlight. The device was twice the size of a human rifle and covered in strange symbols. I think I understand how their shields work, she said. They create an energy field that deflects other energy weapons. But bullets are just chunks of metal. The shields don't recognize them as weapons. Ben Cooper was trying to fix a damaged radio. I got a signal through to the other colonies before the pulse hit. They know about the bullets now. Amy nodded. That's something. What about Earth? The message will take months to reach them. We're on our own for now. Above ground, the Zephyrian soldiers were searching the colony buildings. They moved carefully, watching for the deadly android warriors they believed were hiding somewhere. Commander Zex Vinel had deployed his best troops. The Void Hunters were elite soldiers trained to fight mechanical enemies. They carried advanced sensors that could detect artificial intelligence from great distances. "Report," the commander ordered. "Sir, our sensors are showing strange readings," Squad Leader Nex Corval replied. "The android signatures are organic." "Organic? That makes no sense. Androids are mechanical." "Yes, sir. But our biological scanners show carbon-based life forms. Heartbeats, breathing, blood flow. They appear to be living creatures." Commander Zex Vinel was confused. Living creatures cannot fight like machines. They cannot move with such precision, or show such tactical awareness. "Perhaps they are cyborgs, sir? Part machine, part organic? Possible. Continue the search. And be careful. These opponents are more dangerous than anything we have faced before." In the tunnels, Amy was planning their next move. The mining colony had been built into the side of a mountain, and the tunnels went deep underground. The aliens would have trouble finding them here. "We need to hit them where they don't expect it," she told the others. "They think we're androids, so they're looking for us to act like machines." "What do you mean?" Carl asked. "Machines follow patterns. They do logical things. But humans can be unpredictable." Amy pointed to a map of the colony. "They've landed their ships here, in the open area. That's the logical place to land. But what if we attack from underneath?" Carl studied the map. "The old mine shaft comes up right under their landing zone. We could plant explosives there." "Exactly. They won't expect an attack from below." Dr. Lisa Wade looked up from the alien weapon she was studying. "Amy, I think I figured out how to use this. It's voice activated, but I can't understand the alien language. Keep working on it. Any advantage we can get will help." Ben Cooper was listening to his repaired radio. "I'm picking up alien communications. They're using some kind of translator device. I can understand parts of what they're saying." "What are they talking about?" Amy asked. "They're arguing about whether we're androids or cyborgs. One of them says our organic readings are too strong. Another one thinks we might be some kind of biological weapon." Amy smiled. "Let them keep guessing. As long as they don't know what we really are, we have the advantage." The group moved deeper into the tunnels. Carl led them to the old mining shaft that connected to the surface near the alien ships. The shaft was narrow and dark, but it would get them close to their targets. "How many people can fit in the shaft?" Amy asked. "Maybe 6 or 7, Carl replied. "But we'll have to crawl most of the way." "I'll take 5 volunteers," Amy said. "The rest of you stay here and prepare backup plans." Dr. Lisa Wade stepped forward. "I'm coming with you." "Lisa, you're a doctor, not a soldier." "I'm also the only one who understands how their technology works. You might need me." Amy nodded. "Okay, Carl, you're coming too. We'll need your explosives." "Expertise." Ben Cooper raised his hand. "I want to help." "You're too young. I'm 18, and I know the tunnels better than anyone except Carl." Amy looked at the young man. He was scared, but he was trying not to show it. "All right, but you do exactly what I tell you." They gathered their weapons and explosives and started crawling through the narrow shaft. The tunnel was barely wide enough for a person to fit through. Rocks scraped against their backs as they moved forward. Above them, the Void Hunters were getting closer to the tunnel entrance. Their sensors were picking up organic life signs from underground. "Squad leader," one of the hunters reported. "We have detected the androids. They are moving through tunnels beneath us." Nex Corval studied his scanner. "The readings still show organic signatures. This is very strange." "Orders, sir?" "Follow them into the tunnels, but be careful. If these are some new type of biological android, They may have capabilities we do not understand. The Void Hunters began descending into the mining tunnels. They moved in perfect formation, their weapons ready dot in the narrow shaft. Amy could hear sounds from above. The aliens had found the tunnel entrance. "They're coming," she whispered to the others. "How far to the surface?" Dr. Lisa Wade asked. "About 50 meters," Carl replied. "But we'll have to move fast once we get there." Amy checked her rifle. "Remember, these aren't the regular soldiers. These are their special troops. They'll be harder to kill." The group reached the end of the shaft. Carl placed his explosives near the alien ships, while Amy and the others kept watch. The Zephyrian vessels were even more impressive up close. They were perfectly smooth and seemed to be made from a single piece of metal. "Charges are set," Carl whispered. "We have 2 minutes to get clear." But as they turned to leave, the Void Hunters emerged from the tunnel entrance. The elite alien soldiers were taller than the regular troops, and their armor was black instead of silver. "Biological androids detected," one of the hunters announced. "Weapons free." The Void Hunters opened fire with weapons that Amy had never seen before. Instead of energy beams, they shot some kind of liquid that sizzled when it hit the ground. Amy rolled behind one of the alien ships. "What is that stuff?" Dr. Lisa Wade examined the steaming liquid. "Acid. They're trying to dissolve us. Why would they use acid on androids? Maybe they think we're made of some kind of biological metal." Ben Cooper was hiding behind a rock. "Amy, the countdown on the explosives." Amy looked at Carl's timer. 30 seconds left. They needed to get away from the ships before the charges went off. "Run!" she shouted. The group sprinted away from the landing site. Behind them, the Void Hunters gave chase, their acid weapons. Hissing through the air, the explosives detonated with a tremendous roar. The alien ships disappeared in balls of fire and smoke. The shock wave knocked everyone to the ground, humans and aliens alike. When the smoke cleared, 2 of the 3 ships were completely destroyed. The 3rd ship was damaged but still intact. The Void Hunters picked themselves up from the ground. Their leader, Nex Corval, was staring at the wreckage in disbelief. How did biological androids learn to use chemical explosives? He asked. Amy overheard the question. She stood up and faced the alien soldier. "We're not androids," she said. "We're human." Nex Corval's scanner beeped. It was showing a perfect organic reading from the female warrior. No mechanical parts. No artificial intelligence. Just a living, breathing creature. "Impossible," he whispered. "Organic beings cannot fight like this." Amy raised her rifle. "Watch and learn." News of the battle at New Haven spread through human space like wildfire. Ben Cooper had managed to send detailed reports to 12 other colonies before the aliens jammed their communications. Each colony passed the message along to others. The message was simple but important. Alien shields cannot stop bullets. On the colony world of Prairie Ridge, Administrator Helen Murphy read the transmission with growing excitement. "Get me every hunter and security officer on this planet," she told her assistant, "and find out how many rifles we have." On the mining station Deep Rock, Captain Pete Williams was already organizing his defense. "Forget the energy weapons," he told his security team. "Get the old projectile guns from storage and send word to the other stations." Even on distant Earth, military leaders were reading the reports from New Haven. General Frank Collins called an emergency meeting of the Defense Council. "Ladies and gentlemen," he said, "we may have found a way to fight back, but on New Haven, the battle was far from over. Amy Carter and her team had destroyed 2 alien ships, but more were coming." Ben Cooper's broken radio was picking up enemy transmissions. "At least 20 ships headed our way," he reported. "They'll be here in 6 hours." Amy was treating a wounded colonist when Dr. Lisa Wade approached her. Amy, I've been studying the alien prisoners we captured. I think I know why their shields don't work against bullets. Tell me. Their entire civilization is based on energy weapons. Plasma, lasers, particle beams. They've never encountered kinetic weapons before. It's like they forgot that solid objects can be dangerous. Carl Jenkins was examining the damaged alien ship they had captured. I'm starting to understand how their technology works. It's incredibly advanced, but it's designed to fight enemies just like them. Can we use any of it? Amy asked. Maybe. Their communication systems are still working, and I think I can figure out their weapons. In space, above New Haven, the surviving Zephyrian ships were in chaos. Commander Zex Vinyl was trying to understand what had happened to his forces. Report, he demanded. Sir, we have lost contact with 3 ground teams, his communications officer replied. The Void Hunters are requesting immediate support. What? About the androids? Have they been neutralized? Sir, Squad Leader Nex Corval is reporting that the enemy forces are not androids. They appear to be organic creatures. Commander Zex Vinyl slammed his fist on his command console. Organic creatures cannot fight with such skill. It is impossible. Sir, perhaps we should request additional intelligence from the Empire. These humans may be unlike any species we have encountered. Humans? The commander had never heard the word before. What are humans? Down on the planet, Amy was making plans for the next attack. She knew the aliens would come in much larger numbers this time. We can't fight them head-on, she told the other colonists. There are too many of them. Jake Morrison had taken charge of organizing the non-combatants. What do you suggest? Guerrilla warfare. Hit and run attacks. Make them afraid to leave their ships. Carl Jenkins had good news. I got the alien communication system working. I can hear everything they're saying to each other. What are they talking about? They're scared, Amy. Really scared. They keep talking about humans like we're some kind of monster. Dr. Lisa Wade was studying biological samples from the dead aliens. Amy, look at this. Their bone structure is completely different from ours. They evolved on a world with much lower gravity. What does that mean? It means they're physically weaker than we are. Their muscles, their bones, everything is built for a lighter environment. That's why our bullets punch through their armor so easily. Amy was beginning to understand. They're not used to heavy physical stress. That's why they rely so much on technology. Exactly. And there's something else. Their brain scans show they have very little capacity for rapid decision-making under stress. They're intelligent, but they think slowly, while humans evolved to make quick decisions in dangerous situations. Right. We're persistence hunters, Amy. We evolved to chase prey across long distances and adapt to changing conditions. They evolved to solve problems in safe, controlled environments. Ben Cooper was listening to the alien communications with growing excitement. Amy, you need to hear this. The aliens are calling for help from their empire. They're saying they've encountered an unknown species that defies all their understanding of biology. What kind of help are they asking for? More ships, bigger weapons. And they want scientists to study us. Amy felt a chill. They want to capture us for experiments. It gets worse. They're planning to destroy the entire colony if they can't figure out how we work. Jake Morrison overheard the conversation. How long do we have? The reinforcements will arrive in 3 days, Ben replied. But there's more. Other human colonies are starting to fight back. The aliens are losing battles all over human space. Amy smiled grimly. Good. Maybe we can hold out long enough for help to arrive. But help was already on the way. Captain Roy Davis and his patrol ship, USS Liberty, had been investigating strange readings in the sector when they received New Haven's distress call. The Liberty was not a warship. It was a small patrol vessel with a crew of 30. But it carried something the aliens had never seen before: nuclear missiles. "Captain," reported Sandra Mills, the communications officer, "I'm picking up the New Haven distress signal. They're under attack by unknown vessels." Captain Davis studied the tactical display. 3 large alien ships were in orbit around New Haven. "How long to intercept?" 6 hours at maximum burn," replied the navigator. "Do it. And Sandra, send a message to command. Tell them we're engaging hostile alien forces." On New Haven, Amy was preparing for what might be the colony's last stand. The aliens had landed more troops and were preparing for a final assault. "How many people can we get into the deep tunnels?" she asked Carl. "Maybe 300. But Amy, if they use their big weapons, even the tunnels won't protect us." Dr. Lisa Wade had been working on something in her makeshift laboratory. "Amy, I think I have something that might help." She held up a modified alien weapon. "I managed to reverse engineer one of their plasma rifles. It's not as powerful as theirs, but it works." "How many can you make?" "With the parts from the crashed ships, maybe a dozen." It wasn't much, but it was something. Amy distributed the modified weapons to her best shooters. The final alien assault began at dawn. Hundreds of Zephyrian soldiers advanced on the colony from all directions. Their energy weapons lit up the morning sky, but the humans were ready. Amy had positioned her people in the ruins of the buildings, using the wreckage as cover. When the aliens came close enough, the colonists opened fire. Bullets and plasma beams filled the air. The aliens' superior numbers should have overwhelmed the human defenders, but something unexpected happened. The humans were winning. Every time the aliens tried to advance, the human defenders cut them down. The colonists moved like ghosts through the ruins, always appearing where the aliens least expected them. Commander Zex Meinl watched the battle from his ship in growing horror. His forces were being destroyed by creatures that should have been easy to defeat. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "we are losing." "How can we be losing?" "We have superior weapons, superior numbers, superior technology." "Sir, I don't think these creatures follow the same rules as other species. They adapt too quickly. They learn too fast." On the surface, Amy Carter was proving the tactical officer's point. She had studied the aliens' attack patterns and found their weaknesses. Every time they tried a new strategy, she countered it. Then the sky lit up with new fire. The USS Liberty had arrived, and Captain Davis was not asking questions before shooting. The human ship's nuclear missiles streaked toward the alien vessels. The Zephyrians tried to shoot down the incoming weapons, but they had never seen nuclear warheads before. The first missile hit Commander Zex Meinl's flagship. The explosion lit up half the sky down on the planet. Amy watched the alien retreat in amazement. "Ben, can you contact that ship?" "Already trying." "Yes. It's the USS Liberty, Earth Patrol vessel." Amy picked up the radio. "Liberty, this is Amy. Carter, New Haven Security. Thank you for the help. Ms. Carter, this is Captain Davis. Are you all right down there?" "We're alive, Captain. But we have a lot to tell you about our new neighbors." The battle for New Haven was over, but Amy knew it was just the beginning. The aliens would be back, and next time they would be ready for humans. But now humans would be ready for them too. The news of New Haven's victory spread through the Zephyrian Empire like a plague. For the first time in 1,000 years, the mighty Zephyrian fleet had been defeated by a primitive species. High Admiral Kex Thorin stood before the Empire's war. Council on the crystal homeworld of Zephyr Prime. His crystalline form flickered with patterns of fear and confusion. "Honored council members," he began, "we have encountered a species that defies all our understanding of organic life." The council chamber was filled with the Empire's greatest military minds. They had conquered 300 worlds without ever facing a real challenge. Now they were hearing impossible reports from a backwater planet. "Explain these humans," demanded Council Leader Vex Primal. "They are organic creatures, but they fight like our most advanced war machines. Their simple projectile weapons penetrate our best shields and armor. Worse, they adapt to our tactics faster than any artificial intelligence we have encountered. How many ships did we lose? 17 vessels destroyed, 12 more heavily damaged. Over 3,000 soldiers killed or captured. The council chamber fell silent. Such losses were unthinkable. On Earth, General Frank Collins was reading similar reports with very different emotions. Human colonies throughout the Outer Rim were successfully defending themselves against alien attacks. "Sir," his aide reported, "we have confirmation from 15 colonies. The bullet strategy is working everywhere. The aliens seem completely unprepared for kinetic weapons. What about prisoners? Have we learned anything from captured aliens?" "Yes, sir. Dr. Sarah Kim at the Luna Research Station has been interrogating captured Zephyrians. It turns out they've never encountered a species like us before." General Collins studied the intelligence reports. "What makes us so different?" "Several things, sir. First, we evolved as persistence hunters. We're built for endurance, adaptability, and quick decision-making under stress. The aliens evolved on low-gravity worlds where they never had to fight for survival. That explains their physical weakness. There's more, sir. Their entire military doctrine is based on fighting other technology-based civilizations. They use energy weapons because that's what they know. They've never had to deal with primitive kinetic weapons." "Primitive," the general laughed. "There's nothing primitive about a well-aimed bullet." Meanwhile, on New Haven, Amy Carter was training new defenders. Word of the colony's victory had attracted volunteers from across human space. Young people came to learn guerrilla tactics from the woman who had defeated the Zephyrian Empire. The key, Amy told her students, is to be unpredictable. Machines follow patterns. Aliens think in logical sequences. But humans can be creative, chaotic, and completely illogical when we need to be. Ben Cooper had become the colony's chief intelligence officer. His ability to intercept alien communications made him invaluable. "Amy, I'm picking up something interesting from the Zephyrian fleet." "What is it?" "They're having internal arguments. Some of their commanders want to destroy entire human worlds from orbit. Others think they should study us first. But there's a third group that wants to retreat completely." Carl Jenkins looked up from the alien technology he was studying. "Maybe we should help them make that decision." Dr. Lisa Wade had made a breakthrough in understanding Zephyrian biology. "Amy, I've figured out why they're so afraid of us. It's not just our weapons or our tactics." "What do you mean?" "They're a species that evolved without predators. Look at their body structure. No defensive capabilities, weak bones, slow reflexes. They survived and advanced by being smart, not by being tough. And humans evolved the opposite way." "Exactly. We spent millions of years fighting, hunting, and surviving. We're built for conflict. They're built for cooperation and problem-solving in safe environments." Amy nodded. "So when they meet us, it's like their worst nightmare. An intelligent species that's also a natural predator." The psychological impact on the Zephyrian Empire was devastating. Species that had been conquered for centuries began to rebel. If primitive humans could defeat the mighty Zephyrian fleet, maybe other species could fight back too. On the mining world of Kepler-7, the enslaved Tauran people rose up against their Zephyrian overseers. They had been forced to work in the mines for 50 years, but news of human resistance gave them hope. On the agricultural planet Harvest 3, the peaceful Eldori farmers stopped sending food shipments to Zephyrian worlds. They had never fought before, but they understood the power of refusing to cooperate. Even on industrial worlds throughout the Empire, alien workers began slowdowns and sabotage. The economic impact was immediate and severe. High Admiral Kex Thoran received reports of rebellion from dozens of worlds. How can this be happening? One small human colony has somehow inspired revolution across half the Empire. Sir, His Intelligence. Officer reported, it appears that news of human resistance has spread throughout the slave networks. Conquered species are realizing that the Empire can be defeated. Captain Roy Davis and the USS Liberty had become the nucleus of a growing human fleet. More ships arrived every week, drawn by reports of successful battles against the aliens. Captain, Sandra Mills reported, we now have 17 ships under our command. The Zephyrians are avoiding this entire sector. Good. How many alien vessels? Have we destroyed? 43 confirmed, sir. But more importantly, we've captured intact alien technology from 12 ships. Our engineers are learning how their systems work. The war was turning into something the Zephyrians had never experienced. A long, grinding conflict against an enemy that refused to surrender or follow predictable patterns. Commander Zex Final, the survivor of the first contact disaster, found himself called before the War Council to explain his failures. You were there when we first encountered these humans, Council Leader Vex Primal said. Tell us exactly what happened. Zex Final's crystal form dimmed with shame. Honored Leader, I believed we were facing primitive organics with simple weapons. I was completely wrong. Explain. The female human, their warrior leader. I thought she was some kind of advanced android. Her movements were too precise, her tactical thinking too quick for an organic mind. But she was organic? Yes, but unlike any organic creature we have encountered. She showed no fear, no hesitation. She adapted to our weapons instantly. When I threatened their young, she became even more dangerous. You threatened their offspring? I was trying to demonstrate our power. Instead, I triggered some kind of protective response that made them fight like berserkers. The Council Leader's patterns showed deep concern. Are you saying these humans become more dangerous when threatened? Yes, Honored Leader. The more pressure we applied, the more creative and vicious they became. On New Haven, Amy was reading intelligence reports from across human space. The war was spreading, but humans were winning most of the battles. Jake, she called to the colony administrator, look at this. Human colonies are forming a defense alliance. They want New Haven to be the headquarters. Jake Morrison looked at the proposal. Amy, they're asking you to be the overall military commander. Me? I'm just a security chief from a mining colony. You're the person who proved humans could fight back. You're becoming a symbol. Dr. Lisa Wade had been analyzing captured Zephyrian data crystals. Amy, you need to see this. I found their intelligence files on humanity. Amy read the alien assessment of human capabilities. The report was filled with words like impossible, unprecedented, and extremely dangerous. Listen to this. Lisa said, quote, the human species appears to be a biological impossibility. They combine the tactical thinking of artificial intelligence with the unpredictability of organic chaos. Their capacity for violence is matched only by their ability to cooperate under extreme stress. End quote. Ben Cooper laughed. They make us sound like monsters. Maybe we are, Amy said quietly. From their perspective, we probably are the most terrifying thing in the galaxy. The final confrontation came 6 months after the first battle. At New Haven, the Zephyrian Empire sent its greatest fleet to end the human rebellion once and for all. 500 ships, the largest military force in galactic history, approached human space, but humanity was ready. Amy Carter had spent those 6 months building a defense network that spanned dozens of worlds. Human ingenuity and alien technology had combined to create something unprecedented, a space-based guerrilla army. The Battle of the Outer Rim lasted 3 days. Human ships, armed with nuclear weapons and kinetic projectiles, struck at the Zephyrian fleet from unexpected directions. They used asteroid fields as cover, launched surprise attacks from hidden bases, and employed tactics no computer could predict. When it was over, the Zephyrian Empire had lost over half its fleet. The survivors limped back to their core worlds, carrying news that would change the galaxy forever. High Admiral Kexthorn stood before the Emergency Council session on Zephyr Prime. His report was brief and devastating. Honored Council, I must recommend immediate cessation of all hostilities with the human species. Are you suggesting surrender? Council Leader Vex Primal asked in shock. I am suggesting survival. We have encountered a species that represents everything we are not. They are individually weak, but collectively unstoppable. They are technologically primitive, but tactically superior. They are organic, but fight like the Mo.